Starting us off at number 10 is Micah Stoffer. The YouTuber is facing some serious heat right now that goes beyond online drama. Authorities launched an investigation into the welfare of her adopted son Huxley after she and her husband announced that they had placed him with another family. The Delaware County Sheriff's Office said the investigation is currently ongoing and that they will be doing home studies and background checks. The couple are now under fire because their son Huxley, who has autism, has always been a big part of their story. They made videos regarding the adoption process, his condition, their struggles, all of which were monetized and made significant revenue. She is receiving a ton of ridicule and has lost some very big partnerships with brands. Next up at number 9 is Joe Exotic. It's hard to really include him on this celebrity list, but the truth of the matter is he did skyrocket into fame after his documentary came out on Netflix. You have reached some level of fame when they immediately cast a movie off your documentary and hire Nicolas Cage to star as you. So he's got to be famous. But people are losing respect for him very quickly after stories came out about how much his documentary lied about details. Turns out he really did have tigers killed and even shot an innocent horse to use it as meat food at his zoo. There were a lot of sketchy details that surfaced after the documentary ended, and people are not in love with his goofy character anymore. Plus, they also didn't respect that his team is tweeting out currently about his freedom during the middle of a Black Lives Matter movement. We ain't trying to help you out of prison, alright? Sliding into number 8 is Kristen Stewart. People adored her after she took on the lead role as Bella Swan in the Twilight series. Although they thought her acting could have been better, they loved the franchise and the fact that she was dating her co-star Robert Pattinson in real life. But then the world turned against her when photos leaked online of her making out with a different man, a much older married man, might I add, who was her director in Snow White and the Huntsman. Ever since then, people have ridiculed her for being a cheater and has torn her acting apart in every movie after Twilight. Like literally, there's memes that float around the internet poking fun at how terrible of an actress she is. It's like, I feel bad, it's funny, but like, girl needs to make more than one facial expression. All I'm gonna say. In spot number 7 is Shia LaBeouf. His success came from his time in the Transformers franchise, and despite having a bad reputation now, there's no denying that he can act. But his reputation started to go down south when his behavior became completely erratic and weird. In July 2017, he was arrested for disorderly conduct, obstruction, and public intoxication. But it wasn't until video footage of the actor was released that people were left in shock. TMZ released body cam footage which shows Shia cursing at one police officer, calling him different vulgatory names, and saying racist comments towards another officer who was black. Since then, people lost a lot of respect for him and his career hasn't fully recovered. However, he is trying to do better nowadays. He seems to be more level-headed and sober. Cruising into number 6 is Paris Hilton. She was once the big talk of the town when she became a household name for her phrase, "That's hot." She had the title of best-selling author at one time and was a highly paid actress, model, DJ, and brand ambassador. But her career started to dwindle and she blames it on her 2004 sex tape that went viral. It was called One Night in Paris. Clever. Paris claims that the sex tape was actually put out by her ex-boyfriend and was never meant to be seen by anyone. She said it has completely ruined her life, but other people would argue it was her bad acting that did not progress her resume. Well, that, and she also made some awful homophobic comments about not wanting to be gay because apparently, quote, "you will die of AIDS." Halfway through our list, at number 5 is Trisha Paytas. She did quite the damage on her career in 2019, despite being one of the biggest YouTubers at the time. One of the biggest controversies that pretty much ruined her reputation is when she posted a video saying that she is transgender. Being transgender was not the issue. It was how she spoke about it, saying that she identifies with men better and identifies herself as a gay man because she likes guys. People did not really believe her and it seemed more like a publicity stunt than anything. And then after that, she posted videos of her making out with Jaclyn Hill's ex-husband, and seeing as he is not gay and identifies as a man, people were even more pissed off and confused. I'm still confused. about that whole thing. We are moving on to number 4, and we have Mel Gibson. There was a time when Mel Gibson was one of Hollywood's brightest stars, but then he basically started to drown in controversy, and it all started in 2006 when he was arrested for a DUI. He blamed the DUI as having a breakdown and said that he was wasted and angry. But that was not the only thing. It's also hard to forget his fall from grace in 2010 when a series of taped phone conversations between him and his then girlfriend were released. You could hear the actor verbally attacking her with profanity, threats, and racial slurs. He even went as far as saying that he hopes she gets raped. When doing interviews about the phone meltdown, he had no problem continuing to offend people based on race, sexual orientation, gender, and immigration status. Hollywood just began to lose respect for the actor, and so did his fans. Alright guys, at number 3 is Britney Spears. I don't know if it's hate as much as it is confusion. People don't even know how to feel about her these days because she's just so different from how we remember her before she shaved her head and smashed a car window with an umbrella. She was once the biggest pop star in the world for many years, until she had a mental breakdown and then just disappeared from the limelight for a while. Then, when she made her way back, she was just very different. Her voice and music is still the same, but her social media presence has everyone hella confused. She often looks dazed, she does these wild, strange dances, and she talks about how she burned her home gym down. Like literally, in a video, she just casually tells you that she burnt down her entire home gym. How does that happen? Taking over spot number 2 is Logan Paul. His brother Jake was on our part 2 list because he is currently in some heat, but Logan lost his YouTube career a few years ago. Logan was the first Paul brother to have his career really take off, but it all came to an end when one of his videos made news headlines for all the wrong reasons. He vlogged a trip with his friends to the famous suicide forest in Japan, but didn't do it respectfully. The forest has the title because people are known to go into the forest to commit suicide, and Logan actually came across a dead body on his visit. He caught the entire thing on camera and posted it to his YouTube channel. People were furious because of how disrespectful it was, not to mention he and his friends were all laughing in the video about what they just saw. He lost his biggest sponsorships on YouTube and had to go on TV to publicly apologize. Yeah, he ended up leaving YouTube altogether. Successful podcast nowadays, but YouTube not so much. Earning her number 1 place is Lea Michele. The Glee actress is under fire recently after accusations were made on Twitter, accusing her of making a co-star's life a living hell. Samantha Ware worked with her on Glee, and she said she made racial comments to her and said that she would spit in her wig. Lea quickly apologized and said she didn't remember making the comments, but was sorry if she hurt her. But despite the apology, the accusations just came rolling in from other actors that worked with her, saying that she was always dismissive to black actors and that they don't think it is a coincidence. Lea has yet to respond to the other accusations and has not responded to the request for comment.
Number 10. Rihanna. If you've ever felt the urge to grab someone's clothes, especially a performer without their consent, allow me to inform you why that may be a bad idea. Rihanna is known for many things around the world, mainly her ability to sing and dance, but what many people should know is that she is a Jedi with a microphone. During a concert in 2013, as part of her Diamonds World Tour, a fan at her Birmingham concert decided that she couldn't contain her excitement when Rihanna stepped into the crowd to greet fans while performing her hit single, We Found Love. As she made her way through the crowd, the fan in question reached over her bodyguards and got a grip of her elbow sleeve and started tugging at it. Rihanna was having none of that. She turned to the fan, bopped her on the head with the microphone, and walked back on stage. Apparently calm the entire time, just like, no. Following the slew of anger she received for what many consider to be an overreaction, she claimed that the whole thing was an accident. Yes, because swinging a 5-pound microphone at someone's head happens all the time, right? Number 9. Pitbull. In 2009, a fan made it rain on Pitbull during a concert and he did not have an umbrella. The famous singer was performing at a concert in Colorado when he invites a fan up on stage. The fan was clearly under the influence of something when he was brought up and apparently took the opportunity to make Pitbull look like a fool. The fan whipped out a large wad of crisp dollar bills and fanned them over Pitbull. While it may have been funny at the time, Pitbull was not having any fun at all. After the fans started throwing the money at him, literally comparing him to a dancer of the night, Pitbull understandably told the man to stop before something bad happens. He told him just stop making it rain, to which the man went, "Let's make it pour, baby!" When he didn't stop, Pitbull punched him in the face hard. The man got knocked down, security took him away, and Pitt just kept rapping. He told the crowd that he was a nice guy during the next break to ease the tension, all the while there was some guy gargling his teeth in a hospital gurney. Number 8. Shia LaBeouf. In 2017, Shia LaBeouf had already began making a name for himself as a little bit of a crazy guy, thanks to both his antics on set and his actions beyond the screen. Get it? That's the name of the channel. In 2017, an online art exhibition created by Shia was shut down by a museum in Queens. The exhibition was intended as a rebuke to Donald Trump's presidency. The exhibit hinged on a video camera mounted onto the outside of the Museum of Moving Images in Astoria, Queens. While people were walking by, they were encouraged to participate in the art exhibit by repeating the phrase "He will not divide us" into the camera. This was a 24/7 stream that was supposed to send a message to Donnie, but it instead showed the world just how good of a fighter that Shia was. Shia had made a few appearances on the piece, and at one point a man claiming himself to be something that I can't say online, but it rhymes with Yahtzee, approached Shia and began spewing his toxic garbage right into his face. And that's when Shia decked the man and knocked him down. Now, I don't condone violence in any way, but that was fun to watch. Unfortunately, the incident had Shia arrested, and it's still illegal to fight a stranger no matter how much you want to. While this dude was definitely not a fan, it deserves to be mentioned that a supremacist got his teeth caved in by Louis Stevens. So, good job. Number 7. Justin Bieber. Where do we even begin with this man? The one-time singer has had a long history of negative interactions with fans since the first recorded incident in 2010. Justin was doing a concert in Toronto. While staying at his hotel, a large crew of fans began to culminate outside of the building. He took the opportunity to walk out onto his balcony and spit on his fans, over and over, just dropping loogie after loogie. At the time, his representatives denied that the footage was authentic, claiming that TMZ had superimposed a crowd near Justin to make it appear that he was spitting on people. Not only did TMZ prove that that wasn't true, the multiple cell cameras that captured the event just further proved his guilt. Since then, he's been in the news for reckless driving, public intoxication, he bought a monkey and abandoned it at a zoo, and in most recent years, he was on a vacation in Mexico when he started mooning tourists that were visiting the historic Mayan ruins. Several fans were counted attempting to interact with Bieber, who refused not only to speak to anyone, but he actually started mooning them for asking. This all came to a head when he announced on Instagram that he would no longer be taking pictures with fans, claiming that the experience always felt dehumanizing. Oh well, no one wants to take a picture with you anyway, Justin. You spit on people. Spit's not fun. Number 6. Tobey Maguire. The paparazzi aren't always grimy little gnomes trying to make a quick buck. Sometimes they're just fans who want a photo op with their favorite actor in the world. After 2003, that actor for a lot of people was Tobey Maguire, thanks to the massive success of his performance as Peter Parker in what many called the first live-action Spider-Man movie, but they apparently forgot about the 1978 Japanese version which is that's fair. That's very fair. It's a bad movie. Sam Raimi's trilogy made Tobey a staple in the world of nerd culture, trying to blend into a crowd of paparazzi to snap a pic with Spidey. Well, Tobey can. In a video released in 2012, Tobey is seen trying to make his way through a crowd of paparazzi. He honks his horn over and over, trying to get them out of his way, but his screams are muffled by the clicks of cameras and some dude yelling his name like, "Tobey!" Tobey covers his face, but is forced to open his window and yell at the man in his way. One cameraman was just a little bit too close to the car though, and Tobey swung the door wide open, knocking him down and his camera back with him. Tobey drove away, but reportedly that fall caused a crack in the lens, and the paparazzi chameleon never got his photo op with Spidey. Luckily, there's like 30 people dressed as Spider-Man on the streets of LA, so I don't know, find all 30 and collect them all. Number 5. Kevin Gates. The famous rapper known around the world, Kevin Gates was forced to do a little bit of jail time following an incident on stage at a concert in 2015. Gates was performing at a club in Florida when a woman reached for him in the front row. Now, anybody reaching at anyone that you don't know is jarring enough, but being in the middle of a concert, his ninja mode kicked in. During a video released to TMZ, a woman is seen simply trying to just grab his leg in excitement like, "Oh my god, I love you!" And his response to that light squeeze ladies, was a crane kick to the nose. He just whips his leg towards this lady with full force. The woman he kicked is seen confused and in pain before she starts making her way through the crowd and out of the venue. Apparently nobody saw or cared what happened because moments later the crowd cheers him onto the stage. Not long after that though, charges were filed by the former fan, and Kevin was forced to spend 180 days in Polk County Jail. He was eventually released but was forced to wear a brace on his knee that prevents him from ever kicking someone ever again. Okay, that last part is made up, but that would be very funny. Just like, come on Kevin, come get me. And he, Number 4, Lindsay Lohan. The Parent Trap star got herself trapped in a sticky situation that left her looking like a mean girl. Get it? In 2012, Lindsay was chilling in the VIP section of Club Avenue in New York City when she was approached by a woman named Tiffany Ava Mitchell. Mitchell is a psychic from Palm Beach, Florida, who, according to Extra TV, has been having premonitions about people since the age of 10. She saw Lindsay from across the room and just felt inclined to tell her about the future. Lindsay was neither amused nor interested in what this woman had to say and dismissed her immediately. Oddly enough though, her premonition was super negative. Apparently Lindsay was in for a rough few years, but that never happened. That never happened, right? That never happened, right Lindsay? Right, Lindsay's parole officer? That never happened. She reportedly got furious with Tiffany and actually punched her in the face while calling her a gypsy woman. She was charged with third-degree swatting. While she was able to see that Lohan was headed for a rocky road, apparently Tiffany did not see that a little tiny fist on Lindsay's arm was coming towards her face. Number 3, Ron Artest. In 2004, while playing for the Indiana Pacers, forward Ron Artest became very heated during a game, to the point that he jumped over the scorer's table during a regular season away game. According to Artest, during that game, a fan had been throwing drinks at him. The crowd was so riled up from the game that they forgot that the players were not only real people, they were real tall and strong people. During a break in the game, Artest just lost it. He crawled over a score table, ran into the stands, and began punching the ever-loving life out of this man. Physical violence is never the answer to a situation, especially one in which your career could be cancelled, which is kinda what happened. While his teammates were very much on his side and defended his actions, the situation forced Ron to forfeit over $10 million in paychecks, and 146 games were lost to suspension. The incident is still considered to be one of the most violent altercations in the NBA history, but Ron did make a return to basketball and retired in 2017, now free to spend his days throwing drinks at anybody he wants. Number 2, Akon. Anyone who has ever done stand-up comedy knows just how badly you want to punch a heckler. Like, hecklers are the worst. They just come in, they ruin the show for everyone, and they think they are the stars. In Akon's case, he did the thing that we have always wanted to do and showed his heckler exactly what happens when you mess with the talent. While performing at an outdoor concert in Fishkill, New York, Akon responded to an obnoxious teen fan in the crowd who had thrown something on stage. He responded by removing his shirt, inviting the fan on stage, lifting him over his shoulders and literally throwing him into the audience like John Cena dropping the attitude adjustment. While the fan was caught by the crowd and no harm was done, Akon was forced to appear a year later in a Fishkill courthouse to plead guilty to reduced charges brought on by the family of the young fan. The fan actually met Akon outside of the courthouse and the two cleared up the situation, but the fan's father wanted this man to pay. And that's what he did. Paid $350 to be specific, and he was forced to serve 65 hours of community service. The money was just a gesture clearly because he's worth over $80 million. Thankfully the parents didn't seem to know that, or else this might have ended very differently. Number 1, Will Smith. Yes, Will Smith is on the list of people that hit their fans, but no, it is not for what happened at the Oscars, I promise. Apparently Will has been swatting and slapping for a long time now. To his credit, he was able to hold back a lot considering the circumstances. In 2012, during the red carpet premiere of Men in Black 3, Will was taking interviews left and right. One man, named Vitaly Sediuk, a Ukrainian prank star, pretended to be a journalist and began interviewing Will. And I do apologize if I got his name wrong, but at the end of this you probably won't care. While the interview itself is pure gibberish on Vitaly's part, the situation quickly took a turn when he tries to embrace Will in a hug. At first Will plays along with it and everything is fine, but then Vitaly goes in for a kiss. Smith's instinct kicked in and he threw Vitaly back away from himself. He then asked, "Hey, what's the problem here, man?" and then backhanded him as the crowd roared. In 2012, he was being cheered for smacking someone, and then 10 years later, he was canceled for doing the exact same thing to Chris Rock. Except Rock was just doing his job in that case. This guy was being an absolute jerk and deserved all the backhands that Will was capable of. Number 10. Scientology rants. Apart from his acting chops, Cruise is probably best known for his passionate advocacy of the Church of Scientology. In the past, Cruise has claimed that the religion was a key factor in helping him overcome his dyslexia and holds a fairly active role in the controversial church. For those who don't know, Scientology is a set of beliefs invented by a writer named L. Ron Hubbard. I spent half of my day trying to figure out what specifically those beliefs are, but hey, it turns out the information about these guys is just as cryptic as the religion itself. Tom was first introduced to Scientology by his first wife, Mimi Rogers, whose father was a prominent member of the movement and has stuck with it ever since. While nobody on this planet deserves to be hated because of their beliefs, Tom doesn't help this situation, as it's been reported on numerous occasions that he seizes any opportunity he finds to corner you and break down his religion for a long time. Famous comedian Seth Rogen wrote in his biography Yearbook about an experience that he had with Tom after being invited to his home in 2006. When the topic of Scientology was mentioned, Tom went on a tangent about how he was being perceived in the media and explained to Rogen in great detail the reasons that he should be a Scientologist. He asked Rogen to give him 20 minutes to really sink into the history of the church, but thankfully director Judd Apatow was sitting with them at the time and he was like, nah, we're good. Tom was nuts. He even blamed the pharmaceutical companies for making him look bad, saying that they had something to do with the negative press. They've got better things to do, like, I don't know, cure chicken pox and stuff. Number 9. Angry Little Man. While Tom may be an action movie star and was once a young Hollywood heartthrob, he's had a massive temper since day one. According to both former assistants as well as several co-stars from Tom's past, Cruise is a regular toddler and is known to throw tantrums being set off by the smallest things. His former manager Eileen Berlin presented Tom with a gift on his 19th birthday. She gave him an album of teen magazine articles written about him, and apparently that set him off. He told his manager that he considered himself an adult, not a teen idol, and he decided to throw the book right in her face. Another example of Tom's aggression was on display during the filming of his recent Top Gun sequel, Maverick. During this time, Tom and the rest of the film crew were tasked to shoot on an actual aircraft carrier still being used by the US military. One of the crewmates of that ship posted on Twitter calling out the audacity of Tom's behavior. He tweeted that Tom Cruise was really on our ship telling people not to talk or look at him. After a few choice words, the crewmate made it very clear that Tom was not welcome aboard their vessel. These are just two examples though. Tom has blown up on film crews several times in the past, to the point where his Mission Impossible 2 co-star was constantly scared of Tom on set and what he may freak out about next. Number 8, he's chaotic. Now, it's one thing to be asking people to join your church all the time, whatever, no biggie. But Tom's behavior as a member of society has been rough to say the least. Following the announcement that he was engaged to Katie Holmes in the early 2000s, Tom appeared on an episode of The Oprah Winfrey Show that has gone down as one of the most chaotic TV interviews of all time. From the moment he walks on stage, he has such a strange energy. He's oddly excited, like he just got told the best news in his entire life. He throws his arms up in the air, he rubs Oprah's shoulders like she's a lamp and he's trying to summon a genie. He revealed to the audience that the excitement was from his engagement to fellow actor Katie Holmes. Awesome, man, but can you stop trying to break Oprah, please? Seriously, Tom jumped on her couch, he grabbed her hands over and over again. She couldn't even get to the questions that she had for him because he was just so chaotic. Eventually, Oprah was like, whatever, just bring her out. And the cameras followed Tom as he ran around the studio trying to find her. It looked like a scene from Paranormal Activity. Tom's energy continued to stay at that level of chaos throughout his entire marriage to Katie. Since the divorce though, he's just nuts. Number 7, political moves. Due to his beliefs in Scientology, Cruise intensified his dedication to share his beliefs by becoming an international lobbyist with the goal of helping his church be recognized as an official religion. Tom tried to share his message in multiple countries and was denied by all of them. According to the Irish Examiner, leaders in Paris came to an agreement in 2005 not to make Cruise an honorary citizen because of his affiliation with the church. If that's not bad enough, Cruise brought his issues to the German government. A chief spokesperson for the Protestant church shared that they were against Cruise and his beliefs, comparing him to Joseph Goebbels, a German propagandist. Making a move from TV to politics has historically been a bad one, with the only successful stories really being Arnold Schwarzenegger and Donald Trump, and one of those guys went back to the movies and the other one's in jail now, so I don't know, you be the judge. Number 6. Multiple messy divorces. Tom's love life has been a part of the media circus for a large portion of his career. His first marriage to actress Mimi Rogers only lasted 3 years before they split and Tom moved on to Nicole Kidman. Kidman and Cruise got married in 1990 and they were actually together for quite some time. They were together for like 11 years before ultimately calling it quits in 2001. But of course his most memorable and public relationship was with his now ex Katie Holmes. As previously mentioned on this list, the two were engaged in 2005 and at the time Tom was stoked. They tied the knot and stayed together for only 7 years. With the ending of each marriage comes a litany of negative press. Tom got divorced 3 times, which means that 3 times Tom has had to publicly air his dirty laundry for us all to see, and as many of us know, dirty laundry belongs in a pile on your floor. Hide it away. Number 5. Control freak. Tom is no stranger to an on-set freakout or two, but he's also made a name for himself as a bit of a control freak. Both on set and in his personal relationships, Tom feels a need to be in charge of every little thing at any given time. An insider told Radar Online that Tom was not good at keeping a relationship, as many women found him to be very intense. To him, any partner is an extension of himself and his brand. So he's not only intense, but he's also a micromanager as well. So much so that at times, Cruise has even been known to control what his partners are allowed to wear when they're in public together. This made many love interests feel like members of his staff, and rightfully so. Tom has also been a control freak on set, with the most recent example being an incident that occurred on his last Mission Impossible movie. An audio clip was released of Cruise berating several crew members with intense anger. The crew in question were accused of not following safety protocols that were in place at that time. In his rant, Tom is heard swearing and screaming about the rules, and how if he wants something to happen, it will happen. The crew are essentially his minions, who must do their master's bidding. The rant went viral, but Cruise defended the rant rather than apologizing for his words, claiming that he said what he said and the stakes were high at the time, so I don't know, deal with it. While this may have been happening at a time when Hollywood was shut down and many productions were on hold, that's no excuse to harass the people trying to make you look good. Number 4, mansplainer. Now, telling women what they can and can't wear is one way to ensure you won't be popular among a female demographic, but telling them how to give birth? Now that's a whole other level of messed up. While many people in power have been trying to tell women what to do with their bodies forever, Cruise was forced to address rumors that he made his third wife Katie give birth in secret and in complete silence, a practice Scientologists believe prevents any permanent psychic scars caused by negative vibes at birth. Cruise confirmed that this was true, but made the argument that the process was not as strict as many people believed it to be. He even had a special pacifier made specifically for Katie to keep her as quiet as possible during the birth. This wasn't the only time Cruise chimed in on his beliefs, as in 2005 he openly criticized Endless Love co-star Brooke Shields for taking medication to help her cope with postpartum depression. Well, Shields responded by telling Tom that he should stick to saving the world from aliens and let women who are experiencing postpartum decide what treatment options are best for them. Eat it, Tom! Number 3, converter. Devoting one's life to a faith created by a science fiction writer is all well and good, but trying to talk your fellow celebs into doing the same thing, that's annoying. I'm sure someone out there is still trying to get signatures for their Church of Lovecraft petition, but we don't have to get into that. Former high-ranking Scientologist Gary Moorhead, great last name by the way, told the Daily Mail that Cruise had an unhealthy obsession with soccer superstar David Beckham and viewed him as the ideal candidate for conversion. Sadly for Tom, that never actually happened, but it wasn't for lack of trying though. According to Gary, in an attempt to lure Beckham into Scientology headquarters, Cruise ordered Sea Org, which is the short form for Scientology organization members, to create a full-size soccer stadium. That's right, he built a stadium like the old nerdy guy in Benchwarmers. Hey, guess what? Beckham didn't show up. After he said he'd come check the place out, himself and his wife decided to ditch the event and chose to ghost protocol his butt. Number 2, bad dad. Cruise has 3 children, Isabella and Connor, who were adopted during his marriage to Nicole Kidman, and Suri, who he fathered with Katie Holmes before they split up. The first sign of Cruise being a bad dad came in 2015 when he missed his eldest daughter's wedding, despite her being heavily involved in the church, going so far as to have a Scientology-themed wedding. While Bella does keep in contact with her father, the same cannot be said for Tom's other kids. According to a June 2016 report from In Touch, Cruise hasn't had contact with Suri in years. According to insiders, this is simply due to his wanting to distance himself from his ex Katie, and unfortunately by association, his daughter. Tom's heavy involvement in the Scientology community has caused him to neglect anyone who is either against or disagrees with his ideas. While being dedicated to one's faith is nothing to make fun of, this man deserves a bad dad mug as soon as possible. And number 1, people love to hate the guy. Let's face it, when a celebrity messes up or does something crazy, everyone jumps on the media bandwagon. We as a society famously love to watch the elites crumble, as it's a fun time for all of us normies. Unfortunately for Tom, that bandwagon will never be empty, and Tom himself continues to give us cause for concern. It's 2023, and this man is still regularly freaking out on set, controlling the women in his relationship, and being a chaotic bad everywhere he goes. Despite his questionable beliefs and erratic outbursts, Cruz still remains in high demand. To this day, he is still one of Hollywood's leading men despite the public reputation and gossip that has followed him through his entire career. It only makes sense that a man who can get away with so much is seen as a pariah by his fellow celebrities and fans. He continues to regularly release blockbusters, and while some have failed to recoup their huge budgets, for instance, Tom is single-handedly responsible for ruining the Warner Brothers Monsterverse. Not only did he mess with the script for the production of The Mummy, he also changed shooting locations, themes, and entire characters, simply because he was the producer and he could do it. Hey man, next time just give Tom some crayons and a pad and let him loose, alright? Put him in the corner, just ignore him.
Starting us off at number 10, Jimmy Fallon. The beloved late night host has been knocked down a few pegs after mass scrutiny has been launched his way. Following the Black Lives Matter movement, many celebrities have had their past dissected by fans for their racist histories. Jimmy Fallon is now one of those celebrities under the microscope. After a clip from a sketch back in 2000 resurfaced, Jimmy was heavily scrutinized for his participation in performing in blackface. In the skit, Jimmy was supposed to be impersonating actor Chris Rock. Haven't we learned by now that blackface is bad? I mean, blackface has always been bad, but really, must we remind people every few years about this? Also, why was it even necessary to put on blackface to impersonate Chris? He's more than just a skin color, people. Needless to say, a lot of people are upset with Jimmy for this, and even had the hashtag Jimmy Fallon is over party trending on Twitter when the news broke. Jimmy has since apologized for his actions, but many say that they will never see the host the same way again. In at number 9, Vanessa Hudgens. Vanessa Hudgens is next up on our list of the most hated celebrities of the year because of her comments made about the current global health crisis. Back in March, when this whole crisis sort of began, Vanessa took to her Instagram live and spoke out about her thoughts of the situation. Vanessa went on to say, even if everybody gets it, like, yeah, people are gonna die, which is terrible, but inevitable? Fans were seriously not happy with her remarks and decided to cancel her for it. I mean, I don't blame them. Sure, back when it was the beginning of all this madness, we didn't know how long things were gonna last, but come on, this isn't a situation to make light of. I know we were all bored of being stuck at home and we were struggling with the uncertainty of it all, but still, it's not a very nice thing to say. Vanessa later went back to social media to clear up some things, saying, "I don't take the situation lightly by any means." She apologized for her remarks and has tried to move on from the situation, but it still made her quite a bit of a public enemy for a while. Cruising through at number 8, we have Elon Musk. We've seen a lot of controversy come out about Elon this year. From naming his kid after a barcode to his views on the global health crisis, Elon hasn't been in everyone's good books this year. The SpaceX founder has been scrutinized on Twitter all year, and it seems that no one's really buying into his crap anymore. Even partner Grimes had to call him out on his tweets. Most recently, Grimes had to make Elon come to his senses after tweeting about his views on pronouns. Grimes, who is a big advocate for transgender and non-binary rights, had issued a response to Elon's tweet after saying that pronouns suck, by replying with saying, "I love you, but please turn off your phone. I cannot support hate. Please stop this. I know this isn't your heart." Fans were not happy about the remarks made by Elon, but that's nothing new. Elon has also vocalized his support of rapper Kanye West as he tried running for president, and has even made light of the current health crisis by tweeting "Free America Now" in an effort to get people back to work. My conclusion with Elon here is that he needs to take a break from the internet for a while. He's been ruffling people's feathers a lot this year, so I think it'll do everyone some good to see him stop tweeting for a while. Over here at number 7, we have Lea Michele. Back in June, actress Lea Michele saw her career take a nosedive after co-worker Samantha Ware spoke out about her time on set with Lea, calling it a living hell. The dam holding her career together bust wide open, and a whole slew of allegations against Lea began to surface. Lea had posted a tweet regarding George Floyd saying that the racism must end. Samantha then replied to this tweet saying, "Remember when you made my first TV gig a living hell?" and referenced how her many microaggressions made made Samantha question her career in Hollywood. Judging by the fact that Samantha's tweet was in all caps, I think it's safe to say that she's pissed and she's looking for accountability. It wasn't too long after this initial tweet that more people began to come forward and discuss their grievances with Leah. Even her partnership with popular food brand HelloFresh fell through, as they declared that they do not condone racism or discrimination of any kind. To make matters worse for the actress, the apology that she issued wasn't really much of an apology, as she stated that she didn't remember the behavior that she was being accused of, but she had clearly acted in ways which hurt other people. Now, with her accusations and sorry excuse for an apology, no one's really out here trying to forgive Leah, and I personally believe that it'll be a while before we see anyone budge on that. Why can't we all just be nice to people? At number 6, Hartley Sawyer. Flash actor Hartley Sawyer, known for his role as the elongated man, is in some deep trouble with fans. Recently, some of Hartley's tweets from 2012 have resurfaced, and boy are they ever problematic. The now fired actor is being scrutinized for some harsh words sent on Twitter regarding his past racist and misogynistic views. Some of Hartley's tweets are so incredibly vile that I was shocked when I read them. And there are so freaking many. Normally when a celebrity is called out for past tweets, it's usually just a few, but this is way more than just a few. There is like an avalanche worth of horrible things said by Sawyer. Where did this come from? There are so many misogynistic tweets that discuss abuse and calling women animals and beasts that is just so much. If you've ever watched him on The Flash, you know that his character is a pretty sweet dude, so looking at him from this point of view is a serious shock to the system. Halfway through at number 5, Amber Heard. Aquaman actress Amber Heard has been in the news a lot lately, but not at all for anything positive. Amber and ex-husband Johnny Depp have been in an ugly court battle fighting allegations made by the Sun newspaper saying that Johnny had been abusing the actress. For a long time, people actually believed the allegations to be true, but finally, the real truth came out that revealed that the actual abuser was Amber. For years, people had held the allegations of abuse against Johnny, which subsequently hurt his career. But after finding out that the situation was actually the other way around, fans are coming to Johnny's defense. The whole story really opened people's eyes to the stereotypes surrounding abuse. People often forget that although male abusers are more common and more talked about, men actually face domestic violence and abuse by their partners as well. Since the news broke about Amber's abuse against Johnny broke, fans have been demanding accountability be taken, as well as justice. There's even a petition going around requesting that Amber be removed from the upcoming Aquaman sequel. As the court proceedings carried on, we found out more about the alleged abuse that Amber had committed. Things like severing Johnny's fingertip and cases of verbal abuse are all over this case. Fans are feeling sorry that they didn't come to Johnny's defense sooner, and this whole thing is just so heartbreaking. Johnny's been through so much over the past few years, dealing with some serious relationship turmoil, abuse, and even having to deal with the public accusing you of said abuse even though you are actually the victim in this scenario must really suck. Obviously, people are straight pissed with Amber Heard, and for good reason too. In at number 4, Kanye West. Rapper Kanye West has been making a lot of headlines this year, mostly for his bid to run for president. In a very public display, Kanye has been all over social media talking about his presidential campaign, among other things. At his rally in South Carolina, things got pretty heated for the artist as he went into a sort of manic episode and started going on about things completely unrelated to his campaign. Among those odd topics were stories about Kim Kardashian's conception of their first child North, as well as his views on religion and his belief that abolitionist Harriet Tubman actually sold slaves instead of freeing them. Now, in defense of Kanye and everything he's been saying recently, it does seem that he's in a bad place mental health wise, and a lot of people are trying to get him some help, but I can see why a lot of people are upset with him. Many of the things that Kanye has spoken out about have deeply offended people, including his own family. Shortly after that catastrophe of a rally took place, his wife Kim Kardashian took to Twitter in an effort to de-escalate the situation, but also to voice her disappointment in what Kanye said that night, especially about their eldest daughter. All in all, Kanye's been in some trouble online, and although he seems to be getting the help that he needs, I don't think that fans will be too quick to forgive him, or even vote for him for that matter. Chugging on through to number 3, we have Jeffree Star. Makeup mogul and YouTuber Jeffree Star has been on a lot of people's hate lists for some time now, but this year with the explosion of the Black Lives Matter movement, people are coming for his many wigs once again. In another resurfaced scandal, Starr is being accused of racism for like the billionth time in his career on the internet. The YouTuber has carried around the label of being a racist for many years and has made countless apology videos for that. But this year, fans have had enough of him. After an old website of Jeffrey's resurfaced on the internet with offensive language as well as photos of him posing with the Confederate flag, Jeffrey is back on the fiery coals of Twitter and he's getting roasted. I don't think anyone's really surprised at this point. I mean, 2020 is the year of cancellation, so obviously Jeffrey has to be a part of it. Fans are also still angry with him over his involvement with the infamous Dramageddon from last year, and as Dramageddon 2.0 began to rear its ugly head once more this year, Jeffrey's reputation took a massive hit. Between his accusations, his past, and just him being Jeffrey, he's lost followers, business, and even his collaboration with Morphe. He's had so much backlash over the years that I don't really think anything will change with him. He's made yet another apology video and has just continued on with his life, so I guess that it's only a matter of time before we see him caught in the middle of a next YouTube drama. Coming in close to the end of number 2, we've got Shane Dawson. Speaking of problematic YouTubers, let's talk about Shane Dawson. Shane, much like his YouTube counterpart Jeffree Star, has also had his fair share of YouTube controversies. Shane has also had a reputation for being quite offensive. This year, alongside Jeffrey, he has also faced cancellation on the internet. Once again, after footage of him in blackface resurfaced, he was called out for his past racist behavior. As every good YouTuber does, he made an apology video, but that wasn't enough for many fans. As if his current situation couldn't get much worse, YouTuber Tati Westbrook, remember her from Dramageddon? Yeah, she called Dawson out and accused him of being a part of the orchestration of the whole Dramageddon fiasco. Oh, and I'm not done. Shane was also called out by none other than Jaden Smith himself on Twitter. The son of actor Will Smith criticized Shane for making sexualized remarks towards his sister, Willow Smith, back when her song Whip My Hair was first released. In the resurfaced video, Shane is seen in front of a poster of then 11-year-old Willow Smith and acting out in a sexual manner. Both Jaden and Jada Smith were upset about the video and demanded accountability. Since all of this unfolded, Shane's been MIA from the internet and no one knows if or when he'll be back. One thing's for sure, however, no one's gonna be forgiving Shane for a while. Finally, capping things off at number 1, we have Ellen DeGeneres. Now, I'm sure this doesn't come as a surprise to you guys, but here in the number 1 spot, we obviously have Ellen DeGeneres. I mean, come on guys, she's had the biggest scandal of the year and we're not even done the year yet. 2020 has not been a good year to be Ellen. But just as a recap, Ellen has been getting absolutely destroyed in the media and on the internet this year. It all has to do with her bad attitude and poor work environment on the set of the Ellen DeGeneres show. We've seen new developments with this story come around at least once a week, and it doesn't seem to be settling down anytime soon. She's had allegations of poor workplace behavior and misconduct be thrown at her, as well as to other execs from the show since the beginning of this year, and it just seems to have snowballed since then. As more and more former employees have come forward to share their horror stories of the celebrity, Ellen's grave has just been dug deeper and deeper. At this point, there's no saving her career. I mean, 1 or 2 scandals here and there can be redeemed, but if you've been facing the hellstorm that is Twitter for months, there's no coming back from that.
In at number 10, JStation. With close to 6 million subscribers, JStation has cultivated a massive audience over the years of people that love to get scared. Now, clearly all of his videos are pre-planned, but that really didn't seem to matter to them. At one point in time, people really did love his content. Although as time went on, he never really grew with his viewers. The thumbnails had more clickbait and the titles were bizarre, and not too long ago, he actually faked the death of his girlfriend. Well, ex-girlfriend, I guess. Oddly enough, they had just started a channel together, but for whatever reason, he coerced her into making a video to fake her own death. People honestly had no idea if he was telling the truth or not until she made a video exposing him and his manipulation. It would have been bad enough had he just made that video, but then he monetized a video about her resurrection, which was just bizarre. It was all very, very weird, and from that, he kind of lost a ton of subscribers. And then just said, see you later. In at number 9, Jake Paul. Whether or not you have ever enjoyed Jake Paul's content, he certainly has built an impressive fan base over the years simply by acting like a maniac. He has garnered over 20 million subscribers on YouTube, most of which truly love the content that he's posted over the years, and Jake already had some people kind of beginning to hate him when he started trying to sell this gambling service called Mystery Box to his younger fans. But the straw that really broke the camel's back came when he decided to do some filming in Arizona. During the riots that took place in multiple areas around the city, Jake found himself on camera being handed a bottle of vodka that was stolen from a P.F. Chang's. Following that, he was arrested for unlawful assembly and trespassing after multiple eyewitness accounts notified the police. Now, if he was still a truly beloved YouTuber, do you really think that people would call the cops on him? I don't think so. I mean, clearly people didn't like that he was even in their vicinity, and getting him arrested was proof that he is now officially hated. In at number 8, Danielle Cohn. At 15 years old, Danielle was coming for all of the views when she posted a series of videos showcasing that she was both pregnant and getting married. Although it wasn't long until her mother pulled a Tekashi 6ix9ine and ratted her out to BuzzFeed. Danielle's mother said that her daughter's wedding was fake and meant to be clickbait, but she did not comment on the pregnancy, so there was still that too. Later on, as the controversy developed and her views just kept going up, Danielle admitted that the entire thing was manufactured, for which her fans deemed extremely irresponsible. Especially considering she has a younger base of followers, this behavior should be called out. In at number 7, the Ace family. The Ace family has just over 18 million subscribers and have become very well known for the pranks that they would play on each other. After taking part in online challenges and overall blogging their day-to-day life, people really started to love them. Although this family-friendly channel came under fire after the head of the family, Austin McBroom, started acting not so family friendly. Austin's first point of backlash has to be when he took his wife's 5-year-old sister into, let's say, an erotic store, and then he filmed himself buying a phallic lollipop for her. Almost every person was disgusted by this, and their subscribers definitely took a hit. Although by far the thing that got him the most backlash was when he posted to Twitter saying, "Some of y'all are ungrateful for free content. Some of y'all should be charged every time you watch someone's video. I don't know why y'all think it's just so easy to make videos every day or every other day. If it was so easy, everyone including yourself will be doing it." This was met with fire and brimstone on Twitter, and people ripped him up and down for this statement. He later removed the tweet, but luckily someone had a screenshot. In at number 6, Rice Gum. In his first popular video, Rice Gum criticized young social media stars who made their name on the app Musical.ly. He called out the app's biggest stars for the behavior in their Musical.ly videos, which he thought was inappropriate for their ages. This kind of stirring up drama with other YouTubers is what made people attracted to his content. Along with that, his videos range from diss tracks with whack bars to overly sexualized thumbnails, all leading to his annoying mouth firing off about practically nothing. His mystery box scandal that immediately felt fake to anyone that's at an age of critical thinking is most likely what led him to getting the most hate though. None of his audience members had a problem with him stirring up beef with other YouTubers because they are in a position of power. Although when you promote a gambling service to underage viewers and accept the checks without looking into the details, that just comes off as evil, dude. Instead of taking full responsibility for what he had done, Rice Gum leans into the claims made against him. He proceeds to shift blame and snitches on other YouTubers who have made similar videos asking for them to be called out instead. When does that ever work? Never. The answer is never. In at number 5, Tana Mojo. Tana Mongoose, as I like to call her, has over 5 million subscribers and truthfully only has that by being close to uber controversial Jake Paul. But you already knew that. When I spoke with the rest of the office, they mutually agreed that just the fact that her YouTube page said her name was Tana Paul, it was enough to call her up for being hated now. Even James Charles can't stand her, which is odd because they seem like they would be two peas in a pod. Tana reportedly once showed up 3 hours late for a film shoot with James and then throughout the entire video did nothing but cause disaster. Upon even searching her name next to the word hated, I found several cut together clips all with the same title. Okay, Tana annoying insert influencer name for 2 minutes straight. So it's almost like she found a niche in the market of annoying people on YouTube professionally. Plus, you know, there was that whole fake wedding fight stunt that she and Jake pulled off, and they even charged their viewers anywhere from $50 to $75 just to watch it. In at number 4, Lily Singh. Her channel has garnered nearly 15 million subscribers and her tagline is comedy, inspiration, good vibes. Well, if that were the case, then why do we only get bad vibes from this now hated YouTuber? Many fans of Lily were with her in her early days, but as they began to grow up, they soon realized that Lily wasn't evolving with them. A lot of her common complaints are that her content has become rather stale. Combine that with a more arrogant attitude now that she has a late night show, and you begin to have fans starting to jump ship. No one likes watching someone that feels ungrateful for what they have, and even worse, no one likes watching her deliver those hacky, tired monologue jokes on Late Night with Lily Singh. Plus, her mom and dad characters should have been retired early on in her career. It feels like more of the same thing whenever you cringe watch her videos. In at number 3, Trisha Paytas. Born in California, Trisha was raised in Illinois before returning to Los Angeles, where she began stripping and acting on the side. She primarily worked as an extra and appeared in a number of different music videos for artists including Eminem and Amy Winehouse. Her YouTube account was a lifestyle vlogging channel, but this is where she got herself into some serious hot water. Her videos are an annoying combination of being bizarre and boring all at the same time. She has repeated meltdowns in videos that she deems worthy of uploading and has a shrill voice to top it all off. A moment we should never forget was the evidence brought forward by YouTuber Nikocado Avocado that plopped Trisha into the pathological liar category. What's more annoying is how Trisha handled the whole situation. Nikocado had legit messages from Trisha saying that she wanted to collab with him, only for her to turn around and make several videos where she actually made fun of this fellow YouTuber. She also made fun of his weight, which is ironic because she more than anyone understands the psychological damage that can have on a person. And as a result, she lost a lot of followers. In at number 2, Jeffree Star. Jeffree Star Cosmetics Company has brought in hundreds of millions of dollars, and according to Forbes, he is now the most powerful figure in the industry. Star first rose to fame when his makeup vlogs on YouTube became popular, and from there he went on to launch his own cosmetics line. Before that though, he was a modestly successful MySpace musician. However, now that he is intertwined with all of the drama happening in the beauty community, he is being bombarded with hate. Cameron Lester called him and Shane Dawson out for using him as their token black friend for their videos, and from there it just kinda got worse. Their troublesome friendship really came about when Shane wanted to document Star in what would be called the beautiful world of Jeffree Star. Following Cameron's video, Jeffree left him a voicemail and denied his allegations against him. The voicemail was leaked to drama channels and contributed to the negative wave that would soon erupt after Shane acknowledged the rumors about his role in the feud between Charles, Westbrook, and Star. Last but certainly not least, in our number 1 spot, Shane Dawson. Shane was one of the first people on YouTube that garnered popularity, and he has managed to continually grow that audience over the years. In 2008, when Dawson was 19 years old, he joined YouTube and began making videos. He rose to fame on the site, garnering over 500 million views by 2010. Although now those old comedy sketch videos have come back to bite him. Aside from all the drama that he has gotten involved with in the beauty community, he certainly has his own controversial issues. It's crazy how fast he went from being one of the most loved YouTubers to now one of the most hated. There is so many things that he's done, from blackface to some very inappropriate comments, and now the ever so popular video of him with Willow. If you want to learn more about all of the crazy things that he's done, just check out our video called Top 10 Times Shane Dawson Went Too Far, which I'm actually going to read some comments from right now. Velocity Girl says, the cat thing wasn't a joke. I think that's very clear at this point. I was just saying that he used the excuse of it being a joke, but it most definitely sounded like a real story. Prep for It says, I think he should have been told more often when he was younger that his humor was inappropriate. How many teachers could have suspended him? His videos even then were just wrong. Who knows though if that would honestly have done anything, because sometimes people hate authority so much that they'll go in an extreme in the other direction, so he could have been worse than he is now. Not saying what he's doing now is any better. Alondra Silva says, never liked him. You are not alone. Cassidy Jade says, I'm gonna be 100% real. This Shane Dawson stuff broke my heart. I have been a fan for about 10 years, maybe more. Ugh. He deserves to be canceled though. Look, it is a lot of stuff to just sit by and pretend like he's innocent. You know, if you're a fan, you kinda gotta hit that unsubscribe button now. Victoria Feezy says, I feel like he can do anything and people will still like him. I've never liked him. He seems so fake. There will still always be those people, but he's definitely gonna lose some subscribers, so you can look forward to that, I guess. And that has been the top 10 most loved YouTubers who are now hated. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you to our editors for all of your hard work. If you enjoyed this video, then please show us some love here by tapping that like and subscribe button. Plus, don't forget to leave us a comment down below with your thoughts on today's list. And for more videos like this one, all you gotta do is tap that playlist when it pops up. From Top 10 Beyond the Screen, my name is Johnny Rogers, saying until next time, stay classy.
Coming in at number 10 today, we have Kate Middleton. When sibling rivalry is a common thing, Kate Middleton and Meghan Markle have drama that is a bit more than that. When news started to arise that there was a lot of tension between Kate and Meghan as the two were not getting along, this meant that Harry and William were also not getting along. With the whole family not seeing eye to eye, it became super hard on everyone, including the Queen. It said that the Queen was actually so fed up with the drama that she even ordered Kate and Meghan to sit down and sort it all out. With Kate feeling like Meghan was using using her to climb the royal ladder. Kate would even use this time to state that she was very suspicious of Meghan and that she had no interest in becoming Meghan's friend. Soon the media would even start to state that Meghan made Kate cry on her wedding day. Although Kate would end up sending Meghan flowers to apologize, Kate still didn't want to have an opportunity to become close to the actress. It said that Kate was really hesitant about pursuing a friendship with Meghan when they first met, as Kate is a very private person and she likes to keep things that way. While Kate tends to keep a really tight circle, she doesn't let a lot of people in, and she's always felt like there was something extremely off with Meghan. While the tension between the two has become more tense, the royal family, including Kate, have decided to cut Meghan and Harry out for continuing to spread lies about the royal family in an attempt to tarnish their legacy. At number 9, Piers Morgan. The feud between Piers Morgan and Meghan Markle tends to get pretty nasty at times. While Piers has stated over and over since the beginning that Meghan was a liar and that we shouldn't dive too deep into her story, we probably should have listened to him. Piers' relationship with Meghan began back in 2015 when the actress apparently messaged Piers after he had followed some of her Suits castmates. While Meghan went on to claim that she was a big fan of him in the beginning, I think it's safe to say that she probably isn't a big fan now. When things rapidly started to disintegrate between the two after Meghan became a household name thanks to her romance with Prince Harry, it seems like their feud first started to boil over Meghan's first message to him. In 2016, after Piers and Meghan had been in constant communication with each other, when Meghan went to a private members club where she met Prince Harry, Piers would then never hear from Meghan again. So it's clear that her relationship with Piers was only for clickbait so she could get some views. However, when Harry came around, she realized that she could get everything she wanted, or Piers could give it to her, and essentially she left Piers behind. As soon as it was announced that Meghan was dating Harry, that's when his first dig towards Meghan came public, and since he's continued to mock her and call her out on her behavior. Now, we have seen dozens of people get ghosted by Meghan when she sees that their relationship isn't getting her anywhere in the spotlight, as we've seen her do it to her friends, her ex-husband, and almost all of her family. Hey Peaches, are you liking this video so far? If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Coming in at number 8, we have Wendy Williams. It's no lie that Wendy Williams loves talking about celebrity gossips. While hosting the Wendy Williams show back in 2021, she didn't shy away from her true thoughts about Meghan Markle when Meghan and Harry made the decision to leave the royal family. Now, after Wendy watched the groundbreaking interview Meghan and Harry had with Oprah, she would cast her own doubts about Meghan and claim that her friends actually tried to warn Meghan not to marry Prince Harry because the media probably wouldn't be too kind to her, as they're not really kind to any of the royal family. With Wendy claiming that Meghan weaseled her way into the kingdom before leaving the United Kingdom for Los Angeles, with Wendy claiming that Meghan was lying about her story, Wendy would then claim that Meghan should have listened to her friends instead of pretending not to get it when her friends warned her about the British media's fixation on the royals. Wendy would also state that Meghan knew what she was getting herself into when she joined the royal family and that no one really has sympathy for her. Wendy would then try to claim that Meghan knew what she was doing because no one knew her when she was on Suits, and Wendy only knew her prior to becoming a royal because she wanted to be a runway model for her company and came in for an interview. Coming at number 7, we have Corey Vitiello. So it appears that Meghan Markle was still living with Canadian Society chef Corey Vitiello when she went on her first date with Prince Harry. In a recently published biography, Tom Bauer would then claim that Meghan was still living with Corey when she set up a date with Prince Harry in London back in 2016. Tom would write that the romantic relationship between Corey and Meghan was hanging on by a thread before she left for Europe in the summer of 2016, yet both were still having troubles with discussing on how their relationship would end. But Corey still living in the couple's house while Meghan left for the United Kingdom, he had no idea that their relationship was completely doomed. The two first met when Meghan was eating at his restaurant with Suits cast, and Meghan even gushed over Corey in a review in The Take where she dubbed Corey as her favorite chef. When their relationship had finally run its course, instead of breaking things off Corey, she went to England to seek a new romance. While in England, Meghan would then be set up on a date with Harry by a friend. And then, when Harry came to visit Meghan in Toronto, Corey would realize that the relationship was officially over and Meghan's cruel and sensitive soul would be revealed to the world. Coming in at number 6, we have Trevor Engelson. If anyone knows the true colors of Meghan Markle, then it would be her ex-husband Trevor Engelson. Trevor, who is a producer, has kept it pretty tight-lipped when it comes to talking about Meghan. However, when royal biographer Andrew Morton released a book on Meghan called Meghan, a Hollywood Princess, the book would dive into the idea that Trevor actually had a lot to say about Meghan. He was actually just waiting for someone to believe his side of of the story. According to Andrew, Trevor actually dislikes Meghan. When Trevor and Meghan first got married, everything was fine. However, after she started to rise to fame, she would begin to treat Trevor like the dirt under her shoe. And if this isn't giving you any red flags, then maybe I should bring up the fact that the palace staff has also said that once Meghan moved in, she also treated them like the dirt under her shoe. Trevor felt elevated in their marriage at first. He didn't really think anything was going wrong. However, things finally ended, and it would leave behind a never-ending cold fury towards Meghan. With Meghan once claiming that she couldn't imagine her life without Trevor, she would then mail him back his wedding ring instead of breaking things off in person, and she would then come to the house to collect her blender. And it said that Meghan initially just called things off because he refused to cast her in any of his shows. Number 5. Erin Foster. Erin Foster finds Meghan Markle a spoiled brat who has it all. Now, Erin is a comedian, performer, and writer who is known for her history of putting several celebrities on blast, including Meghan. In the months of November 2017, Erin would come for Meghan when she posted a photo of Meghan from her days on the game show Deal or No Deal. And she captioned the photo as "Never forget." Later on, she would then post another picture of Meghan where it would show Meghan with a briefcase from the same show. Erin would then proceed to caption the photo with an even more rude caption that read, "This briefcase is filled with my plans to become famous." It's no secret that Erin considers Meghan to be nothing more than a fame-hungry social climber, and with everything that's been going on lately, it proves that Meghan is definitely someone who played her cards right to get everything she ever wanted. And now that she has it, Erin isn't scared to call her out on it. While the whole world at first criticized Erin for posting the picture, they should have been looking at the facts that Meghan knew exactly what she was getting herself into. And number 4, Christy Swan. Australian TV personality and author Christy Swan has hated Meghan since the beginning, and following the news on the royal engagement between Prince Harry and Meghan, the radio host wrote on Facebook, "For some reason, I still haven't warmed to her. It's her manner. She looks like she's performing to me. It looks like she's portraying a concocted humility of acting." While Meghan is indeed a brilliant actress, it's not hard to see why Chrissy believes that she is acting to show the world that she is head over heels for Harry. Since the beginning, Chrissy has always been keen on critiquing Meghan Markle. She even first opened up about her judgment on her personal Facebook page, which would state that Chrissy would never warm up to Meghan, as she was under the impression that since the beginning, Meghan has always been acting. And since Meghan has continued to play the same narrative that the royals hated her, and we probably should take this as a hint that there might be some truth behind what Chrissy has been saying. However, instead, Chrissy's Facebook page has turned into an open field of judgment, as hundreds of fans have expressed their agreement or disagreement with Chrissy. So do you think Chrissy is right and Meghan is just acting? And let us know in the comments below. And number 3, Samantha Grant. Meghan Markle's estranged sister, Samantha Grant, would expose her relationship with her sister in a tell-all book. Samantha would highlight that Meghan isn't as innocent as she seems. Even though they grew up in different lives sharing the same father, Samantha doesn't have any sort of relationship with Meghan whatsoever. When the rumors began to swirl about Prince Harry's engagement to Meghan, Samantha stated that she felt like Meghan was taking advantage of her current situation to become a household name. Samantha would even state that Meghan has a history of lying and manipulating certain settings in her sites for no reason. While Samantha isn't exactly a celebrity, she's still worth mentioning because who knows you better than your own siblings. Also, she's had some pretty good opinions on Meghan that we should have listened to before we all took Meghan's side in the beginning. Samantha has labeled her sister as a social climber and has claimed that when she needed her sister at the most, she was never there for her. Later, Samantha would even publicly bash Meghan again when she claimed that she wasn't even invited to her wedding. Given that the two sisters did end up growing up in different households and the fact that they did live different lives for most of their lives, while the world bashed Samantha for just looking for attention when she came out with her story, however, given that we've seen Meghan do a complete 180 in years to come after Samantha's comments, it's safe to say that she wasn't just using Meghan's name for clickbait. Number 2, Katie Hopkins. It's no secret that Katie Hopkins hates Meghan Markle, as she's been scrutinizing every one of Meghan's moves since the beginning. When the scandal of Meghan and Harry first started to make headlines, Katie would hop on the trend and she would share a shocking media rant with the world. The Daily Mail writer and media personality made it really clear that she has no respect for someone like Meghan Markle, with Katie finding her move to leave the royal family distasteful. She would even bash Meghan for being addicted to Instagram. Katie has also been very vocal when it comes to labeling Meghan as an American Kate Middleton and a budget Princess Diana with an Oscar-winning innocent face. Katie was also furious when Prince Harry pleaded to the media to respect his girlfriend's privacy, as Katie would say in her social media rant that if you don't want Miss Sparkle trolled on social media, advise her to stay away from posting pictures of bananas spooning on her Instagram account. Katie's rant would also include her wishing that Meghan and Harry would end up losing their royal titles. She feels like Meghan's relationship is coming off as a desperate to be a celebrity move. And coming in at number 1 today, we have Daniel Radcliffe. Now, Daniel Radcliffe doesn't just have a distaste for Meghan Markle, but he honestly just hates the whole royal family altogether. Daniel has never been afraid to confess that he doesn't agree with the whole country's appreciation for the royal family. Even though he is a patriot by heart, he doesn't understand why there is still a need for monarchy. He also didn't shy away from stating that he is extremely proud to be English. However, he believes that the monarchy still symbolizes a lot of things wrong with this country, and he doesn't understand why countries still follow the monarchy. While Daniel has said that he does sympathize with Meghan because of the harsh treatment she's gotten from the press, he also doesn't think the royal family is doing anything wrong. He simply just doesn't like them because they represent his symbol of class division, which is something he doesn't particularly like because he is an upper middle class kid. While Daniel has chosen to shade the royal family in the most respectful manner, he definitely chooses to distance himself from the royal family for a reason, and we should probably take that as a hint going forward. Starting off our list today at number 10, we have think too highly of themselves. Sometimes you can reach a certain level of fame and you forget about all the hard work and people who helped get you to the top, and you start to forget about all of them, and in the process you can sometimes get lost and become too full of yourself. And this is exactly what happened to the Smith family. While Will and Jada seem to be the main targets of this statement, when the Los Angeles Times caught up with Janet Hubert to clarify her criticism of Jada and Will, whom she is already accused of screwing over the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air cast years earlier in contract talks, Janet would say that they simply needed to get over themselves by saying, "You ain't all that, you're not kings and queens, you're not royalty, you're simply entertainers." But this is clearly not how the Smith family sees things, especially Will, who back in 2007 had a Kanye West moment when he told the Daily Mail that his ambition was to be the first black president in US history, something to which Barack Obama beat him to first, and then Will went on to say that Barack Obama stole the idea from him, but it was okay as he went first and soon he will take his turn. In 2015, Will would then again tell CBS, I gotta be the president, come on. What else would I run for? Number 9. Jaden's an egomaniac. Jaden Smith's outlandish behavior certainly isn't helping with his mom and dad's reputation in Hollywood circles, despite a hit and miss record in his short career as an actor. The homeschooled young man has already irked movie makers and fans alike by declaring himself the future of filmmaking in many of his bizarre tweets. Jaden's online output had been both a source of entertainment and a cause for concern, with his cryptic comments about the world around him bordering on to seem delusional from time to time. In an interview with GQ magazine, Jaden would reveal that he had started an initiative called Mystery School, inspired by secretive work from ancient scholars. In the same interview, he would then refer to himself as being a scientist and claim that all of his past antics have been part of this large-scale social experiment, and he has become 100% fearless in the process. Hey my little peaches, are you liking this video so far? If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Number 8. Willow's chatter. If you thought Jaden was the most creative member of the Smith household, then you've yet to meet Willow. With Willow being 2 years younger than her brother, she still outdoes him when it comes to wacky comments and uncomfortable interviews. During a Q&A with the New York Times, Willow would reveal that she had the ability to manipulate time. When she said, time for me, I can make it slow or fast. However I please, and that's how I know it doesn't exist. Willow then went on to tell Style magazine that she wrote her novels because there aren't any existing books she already likes. When the interviewer tried to get back on track with questions about which theme she felt reoccurring in her music, Willow answered by saying, "The feeling of being like this is a fragment of a holographic reality. That's a higher consciousness is made." Either there's a whole philosophical level to her track Whip My Hair, the world is completely missing, or she's getting way too into quantum physics. But I would like to think if I whip my hair back and forth, I could figure out what she was trying to say. Number 7. The kids freaked freaked out Sony executives. If you're thinking the Smith kids and their erratic behavior has no effect on Will and Jada's standing in Hollywood, then you might want to change your minds, as a leaked email that was exchanged between Sony executives proves otherwise. If you read the T Magazine profile on Jaden and Willow, you would know that TriStar chairman Tom Rothman emailed a link to the interview to another bigwig along with the message that said, Message 1, read this. 2, they are homeschooled, don't let this family date your movies. With Tom previously working with Will in 2 movies, that still didn't stop him from ridiculing the actor's kids. To the point, Will just shrugged off the comments and said, everybody disses my kids. To me, that's just a part of the business, and somebody's private email is, so I would never hold anyone responsible for something they said in a private email. I shouldn't know about it. But his kids seriously freaked out Sony executives, so you kinda have to own up to that and figure out what's going on with them. Number 6, too involved with drama. So it seems like whenever something happens in the industry, it seems like the Smith family are the first ones to jump into the drama and uncover what is truly going on by inviting that suspect or person to Jada's Red Table Talk show. Just take a look at Jordyn Woods. After the Kardashians went to war with her after she ruined Khloe's relationship with her baby daddy Tristan Thompson, in an attempt to get in on all the drama, Jada invited Jordyn to the Red Table Talk show to help her state her story, but in the process, all the interview would do was ruin Jordyn's career even more. When Jordyn should have apologized and moved on from the incident, instead she went on Jada's show to air the Kardashians' dirty laundry live with Jada. And as soon as that interview was over, Jordyn became a laughingstock, especially when Khloe came out to name the Instagram influencer as a liar. It just seems like from time to time, the family, especially Jada, takes things a little too far and they forget that they're actors and they're not Jeffree Star. Number 5, messed with August Alsina. Just weeks after August Alsina dropped his bombshell revelation interview, Jada would be forced to confirm that the pair did in fact dive into a romantic relationship, and after she left August, he would be left feeling devastated because Jada took advantage of his mindset when he was at his lowest point of his life. With Jada previously saying that she was mentoring him through a tough part of his life, it made us all question what kind of mentoring she was giving him, where he felt like he was giving his all to a relationship that left him feeling devastated in her. With August being diagnosed with an autoimmune condition, he spent most of his relationship in and out of the hospital, which made it easy for Jada to get her hands on him and to consort him into a relationship that ended up destroying him when she threw him to the trash after her husband agreed to take her back. Number 4, blaming everyone but themselves. When Jada and her family decided to get real during one of the Red Table Talk show's episodes, we would learn that the whole family has a problem with keeping their egos under control, as from time to time, we have seen them all admit that they weren't the nicest people to be around, and that you can't always trust them based on the way they have made themselves look. With the family doing some very unloving things to the people they love the most because of their fear and their ego, it seems like once their ego kicks in, if they are in trouble, they become vicious and mean. Even when they are in pain, instead of being more vulnerable to talk about their issues, they shut themselves off and blame everyone else around them as the problem. And this has become a deep problem for the family because they won't let themselves be open and release the pain. And instead, they hide it away, they let it build up, so when it does finally release, it explodes and it creates one giant mess. Just look at the Oscars incident for an example. Number 3, bad parenting. So it turns out that the bigwigs at Sony aren't the only ones who have questions about Will and Jada's parenting skills. Things got real for the family in 2014 when a picture of their daughter started to go viral after it showed Willow in bed with a shirtless 20-year-old man. With the photo slowly starting to become a viral meme, it would soon spark a police investigation and family services to look into the snap of Willow, which was posted online but removed shortly after. Sources would then tell Radar Online that Will and Jada were extremely cooperative with officials, but they weren't really happy about all the scrutiny they were facing when it came to their parenting skills. Social workers would then have to talk to Willow and the man in the picture, which forced Jada to eventually break her silence on the matter when she was approached by the press at an airport in Los Angeles, and she would tell E! News in that process, here's the deal, there's nothing bad about that picture or the situation, you guys are projecting your trash onto it and you're acting like you know better, which is not cool. Number 2. Jada's lie. Jada hasn't exactly put her family into a great position, especially since she has proved that producers and hiring agents actually can't really rely on her family's word, especially since she has admitted to lying to get a gig. As Jada once revealed that when she was offered a role in The Matrix Reloaded, she was pregnant and she sort of lied just so she could secure the job. Though the role was perfect for her, she may have lost out on the opportunity to play the part if she had been 100% truthful, as she was pregnant with her daughter Willow at the time, and the filming schedule required her to begin in November. But there was a small problem with her daughter Willow also being due that very same month. In a video for Vanity Fair, Jada would tell the outlet that she lied just a bit so she could get the role because she was obsessed with the idea of being in the movie, especially since she lost out on the lead role. So she told them her baby was going to be born in October. Luckily for her, Willow came early, otherwise the production would have been delayed or Jada could have ended up being replaced. Either way, productions have been scared of facing similar issues when it comes to hiring this family. And coming in number 1 today, dropping contracts. While the work Will has done has definitely proved that he's a man with a bright future ahead of him because he's a talented actor, when it comes to Jada's work, she hasn't really yielded stellar results. And maybe that's why when it comes to Willow's career, she isn't afraid to back out of last-minute movie deals. Take Annie for an example. It was a much anticipated remake of a beloved Broadway musical, and when the production on the film ended up being stalled because Willow decided to drop out of the lead role, the final product failed to hit the $100 million mark at the box office, which is an essential milestone for any family movie released over the holidays. With most critics finding the movie sucked, with Willow dropping out of Annie, she made the whole film feel like it was a giant missed opportunity and a big letdown. And it has producers wondering if they go to hire her in the future if she's going to back out of their films as well.